It's Blood Bowl with PFlax. Right, so I just thought I'd have a little Blood Bowl game, and some of you guys have asked for a sort of tutorial style video, which is weird because I'm not a great player by any stretch, and there are lots of tutorial videos out there, but maybe some more of you will get to watch this and see what's up. So I'm playing my human team, Men Who Chat. I think it was meant to be Men Who Cheat and I misspelled it, or someone in my live stream suggested the name, or I just came up with it. I can't remember, but it's a stupid name. But we're a decent team. We've got some good players. We've got an Agi 4 thrower, which is nice, in a team that has 2 catchers. So we're up against some Skaven. He's lower TV than us. He's Rat Ogre, is mercenary Rat Ogre. Still annoying. We'll have to be careful with that. Mercenary, if you're going to get a mercenary Rat Ogre, we will receive the ball, because I want to try and punch some Skaven. So he's got this Rat Ogre. The thing with Rat Ogre is it's already a loner, because rerolling on them is tricky anyway. So he's got a mercenary Rat Ogre. I personally think that given he has he has 1 sub, I kind of worry that he's relying on the Rat Ogre. But then again, we'll just stick Iron Man Ogre on him and just try and mark him, basically. If I can get rid of his buddies, we're in with a chance. So I'm looking at his team, and he's got 2 gutter runners. One of them who's got block and horns, and one of them who has block. We have, I think we've got tackle on someone. Yeah, we've got tackle on one of our blitzers. So that blitzer will be our stop the Ratman guy, if that's English language. We do have a sub, which is a lineman. So he's doing what a lot of Skaven players do and trying to protect what he's got in the middle here, which I think is a mistake against humans, because humans tend not to be a bashy team. I mean, yes, we've got an ogre, and yes, we're not Skaven, but we've only got 1 more armor than him. It's not like I've got Mighty Blow and everything like that. So if he leaves this guy there, that's a big mistake, and I'm going to punish him for it. So here's a guy that I can 1 dice block with Mr. Cheesewheel and get a free chance to take out one of his only goal scorers, which is great. And then I'm just going to mark up these other guys and basically leave a couple of linemen on the line, my ogre against his Rat Ogre, and just tie up that middle and then deal with the rest of them as much as I can. The problem we're going to have is if we don't handle these guys, they're going to be able to get into the backfield. So what you've got to do is play with a couple of safeties. And when it's our possession, I like to keep the catchers relatively far forward, but the problem is because the Rat Ogre has Frenzy, it's possible for him to get into the backfield and open up a seam. Like it's actually really easy for him to do that. But we're just going to try and mark his guys up and basically hope that we can get the ball in a decent position. You can't overplan. You've got to just have a general idea of his setup and whether it's good or not. And there's why you don't overplan, because if he rolls a blitz result, it's very easy for him to, hopefully, he'll overcommit and run everybody down here to get after the ball, which is fine by me. If not, then we'll see. But do you see, by setting up in this kind of formation, so this guy right here is going to offer an additional block on my lineman. The thing is, I'm quite happy for him to attack the lineman. Linemen are pretty disposable in terms of not only their career, if you like, but also in terms of their value on the pitch. It's not the end of the world if he's down. If I'd lost one of my blitzers, that would have been a big deal. And he's also committing a lot of players forward so far. Again, this guy is unmarked, which is good. So in his blitz, he's knocked down one of my linemen, which means he won't be available on turn 1. I hope he moves this guy into position. That's good. That's really good for us. So this is free blocks. When someone leaves Skaven in contact with you, they're basically free blocks because I don't have to move now. I get punches on him, I get punches on him, and if he moves him up as well, I'll get punches on him. And you want to have, against a team like Skaven, they desperately want to avoid being punched. So getting free shots on his guys is really good news. So there's the ball. That's fine. We've got an Agi 4 guy who can get in position. My catchers are very, very quick. So the reason I move this catcher here is because if we fail to pick up the ball, at the very least, it's still... No, I'm not streaming. At the very least, it's still... I have a guy in contact with it. So if he has to pick it up, at least it's at a slightly less likely. Oh, he's been watching... So this guy bought Blood Bowl because of watching the Krendorian League. That's really nice. All right, so I'm going to move this lineman around to here. So then we'll get a 2 dice block on this Storm Vermin with one of my blitzers, which is good. We are going to blitz this Gutter Runner with the guy with Tackle. I'm going to expose myself a little bit here, but I think it's worth it for as the game goes on. So this guy's reasonably well marked. So we've got 3 rerolls. So let's go ahead and block this guy first of all, because I want to get a 2 dice block on his Gutter Runner. That's always good. I've got Tackle, and there it is. Tackle, come into the 4. Follow that up. So didn't get an injury, but one of his Gutter Runners is down. He actually has 3, I miscounted. We are going to punch this guy. He doesn't have dodge, so we'll knock him down and leave him adjacent to that guy. That's nice. So that's a stun. So he's down 1 guy. That's good for this next turn. Then we'll get a block on this guy. That's good. And then I'll probably do something with the Ogre last of all, but for the meantime we're going to just try and pick up the ball. We've got 4 agility and sure hands, so we've got a pretty good chance of doing that. Now I need to think, can he get a guy around here? So the furthest he can get that Gutter Runner is there. He can get these guys to me, so I'm just going to move to here. In fact, I might even... See, what he can do is dodge out and come around and try and block me, but it will be, if he blitzes, it'll be a 1 dice block, which isn't ideal. So if I move to here, I think that would be better, and then we'll just try a block with the Rat Ogre. I'd like to get this guy out of the way so I can get in there. This is good. All right, so we'll knock this guy out. We'll follow him. So he's stunned. So the reason I wanted to get over there is because now you can see I'm marking this guy too. So that's another guy that he can't run as easily. So I'm happy with that. Reasonable start. We're playing into a blitz, which is always difficult. But we've got decent field position. We've got a nice line here. We've got 3 guys around a Gutter Runner, which is always a good thing. One of his other Gutter Runners is down. So what he might do now is he's got 1 guy unmarked here. He's going to go, I guess, go and block with the thrower. So this is fine for me. He doesn't have block. I do. He gets lucky and rolls a POW. It happens. Hopefully Vitamin Cakes won't get hurt. He's injured. All right, that's bad luck, and you just have to accept that that's going to happen. No long-term effect, but that's kind of ridiculous. So that's one of my blitzers out for the game. That's the guy who had guard. That's just desperately unlucky. It's one of the reasons I don't play Blood Bowl too often, because it's not good for your blood pressure. So now he gets for the 2 dice block here. He rolls block and skull, tries for the reroll, gets loner, so we're both going to go down. So as you can see, there's bad luck, and then there's bad decisions, and he is stunned. So that's fantastic for me. Great start to the turn. So although we lost a guy, we're in a decent position to score. So let's just, first things first. Why can't I stand him up? All right, that's a bug. That's a bug because I was clicking him when the turn ended. Did you see that? There's no way he should still be stunned. What are you going to do? So now we've got a chance to block this guy. That'll do. He's KO'd. That's a great result for us. So let's now get a 3 dice block on this gutter runner. That's unfortunate. Try this. There we go. There's a POW. Alright, that's good. So now I can move the ball carrier up. Probably to... We don't need to move him yet, actually. We've got a linesman here. Let's mark him. We can move this guy up to probably there is a decent shout. And then we will move our ball carrier up to... See, if I put him there, he can block him with the storm vermin. If I put him there, any block that comes in is going to be against one of these guys. He's going to have to move quite a few players to get in there. But this is not a great position because this guy should have stood up. That's very annoying that he didn't. Our blocker here, this is a 1 dice block. It's got a 1 in 6 chance of failure, so I'm going to chuck it. Unlucky. And that's just a straight block. All right, that is really unlucky. All right, but now I'm going to throw a really stupid block, and I'm going to throw one on this linesman here. It happens. Sometimes you just roll skulls. So those last 2 blocks, they were not good. I had a 2 in 6 chance of rolling something here on 1 dice, so 33% chance of success, and I used a reroll. Bad. Then I threw a block here that had a 33% chance of success, and it came off as a skull. So very bad. Should not have thrown either of those blocks. Generally speaking, 1 dice blocks against people that don't have block where you do, they're fine. 50-50. You got a, 50% chance of knocking him down. You've got a 33% chance of just pushing him, fine. And a 1 in 6 chance, so 17% chance of complete failure. So you have a 50% chance of a positive result, 33% chance of a neutral result, and a 17% chance of a negative result. And in gambling terms, which Blood Bowl is, that's reasonable, unless it's clutch that you keep that guy there. As it turns out, I thought he'd apply more pressure, but he's not going to do that. So that's fine. We can just remain caged up and keep moving down the pitch. These 2 guys are back up in a sec. So he's lost 1 to KO. We've been unlucky, genuinely. We've knocked a lot of rats down and haven't injured them. Remember, they only have armor 7. Whereas he knocked on his first block, he got not only an armor break, but an injury, which is unlucky. But it happens. So what I would like to do now is just mark up some of his guys. So I'm going to stick a lineman on this rat. We'll stick a catcher on this guy. And I'm going to use this guy to block this guy to here, and then hopefully get a 2 dice block to push him out, unless we knock him down, in which case, fair enough. But if we only get a push, okay, so we got a proper. All right, so we'll keep that. So he's down, and I'm going to mark him with this linesman to just maintain that position, which I'm fine with. So we've actually got one of the guys at the front here as a catcher, which is not ideal. You don't want the start of the cage against these guys to be a catcher because they only have strength 2. So I'm going to move a couple of guys up there, move him into the back here as more of just a body, leave him marking that guy. I should have stood these guys up first. That was my mistake. So we get them up, and then I use the ogre to punch the basic linesman. It's fine. Perfectly happy with that. So we'll push him to there. He's marked by that linesman, and we'll just stay here. So then we're still marking the rat ogre. We don't want to give him a chance to blitz into here. Okay? The ogre has to stay on the rat ogre at all times, because the one thing that Skaven have that gives them a chance to break into a cage is that rat ogre's frenzy. So by using that frenzy, he can bulldoze his way into a cage. And one of the reasons I like to get block and guard on a rat ogre is because you can bulldoze your way into a cage, get guard on the outer edges of the cage, and then use your storm vermin to get into the cage. And also just that big guy with guard is always a good thing to get. If you can't get block, you should get guard. So he wants to make a block on that guy? I don't think so. Even if he stands this guy up, it's a 1 dice block because the gutter runner only has strength 2. Remember, if you have equal strength in the block, it's 1 dice. Greater strength is 2. If you have greater than double their strength, it's 3 dice. And if you have less than, it works the other way. So if I have less strength than them, it's a -2 dice block where I roll 2 red dice and the opponent chooses the result, which is never a good idea. So this is a good result for us. Push and skull. He had a really good chance of knocking down my lineman there, given that he doesn't have block. I mean, the lineman doesn't have block, he does. So that push is fine. Now, by not following up, I now get a free 2 dice block on his storm vermin. He should have absolutely followed up there. So that's a wild animal roll. That's great. So the thing with the rat ogre is that his wild animal is this is where his frenzy is kind of a bad thing. Well, not a bad thing, but almost like a hindrance is if you don't blitz with him, and he's, you know, you have to make your wild animal check, which is a check to see if you can act. If you don't blitz with him, it's a 50% chance he won't be able to act. So the problem that the Skaven has is, yes, he's fantastic at burrowing into cages and blocking everybody, but you have to use him for that, or he spends a lot of time on his ass. So essentially, once you've knocked him down, unless he's using him for the blitz, half the time he's on his ass. That can't be ideal. So this catcher is in a pretty bad spot. So you can see that was a very fortunate block for him. There's 1 dice, 33% chance of success, 17% chance, 33% chance of failure. So that was as likely to fail. So let's see if he bothers to use a reroll. He's only got 2. He doesn't. That's actually pretty wise. You don't want to use a reroll already there. So he has tied up one of my blitzers here with a lineman, which is a good move for him. I can bring this lineman around the back here and mark this gutter runner, which I'm going to do. We need to start punching our way through here somehow. So I'm going to leave this lineman marking this storm vermin. That's fine. Just going to move up in contact. Against a lineman, I'm happy to be in contact with, and I have block, and he doesn't. So I'm helping him, which I shouldn't. But the problem is when you stick the rat ogre on the line against another big guy, think about this. I want to be blitzing with him. And I want to be breaking cages with him. You've got to make the most of that cage breaking potential. And if you don't do that, he's basically wasted TV. So this is a low chance of success, but we'll go for it anyway just to get him out. So now we've got 2 guys in here. That's good. I wanted to get a lineman next to my catcher. It's got a lineman here against 2 gutter runners. That's a 2 dice block, so we'll take that. He's going to dodge it, but it means we can just move up a little bit. Just keep them from easily sort of congesting, if you like. And then I can move the rat ogre, or I can keep him on, I mean, I can move the ogre, or I can keep him on the rat ogre. And I'm going to move him to... Actually, I'm not going to move him at all, because if I fail my bonehead, I'm no longer marking the rat ogre, and he can smash into the cage. And I definitely don't want to do that. I'm going to leave him there. So the reason he's there is because if this guy wants to blitz, he's got to go in there. That's fine. But then he'll be at a minus dice roll because of this catcher. And I've still got the ball on my thrower, so if we get lucky somewhere else, he can always toss it away, and maybe we can score a quick touchdown. Generally speaking, there's a kind of an impulse to get the ball on the guy you want to score with as quickly as possible. But keep it on the guy who can do the most with it. If I end the turn and he's in contact with the enemy, the opponent, sorry, remember he's got 4 agility. He's got a very good chance that he's going to dodge away. He's also extremely good at passing. He has 4 agility and pass and accurate. So my passing result is very likely to succeed. It's very likely to be a good result. So this guy's now going to try and knock my blitzer out of play, which was something of a mistake on my part, you might say. And he gets the push. So Anaga Madana is out of play. Hopefully he won't get injured. That would be really unlucky. So he just joins the subs. That's fine. So this is fine for me. Mr. Cheesewheel is a key player for me because he's the only guy on my team who's got tackle. But this is one guy tying up 2 rats. Now, given that we have a man disadvantage, that's actually pretty good. All right, it's 2 linemen, but that means he's having to use a lot of gutter runners on the line, which is fine. That's unlucky. That's unlucky. I mean, that shit happens. I hope you guys have seen that this is Blood Bowl, right? Sometimes you are going to get dice rolls where he just breaks your armor and you never break his, and you just got to make sure that you stay composed, don't go crazy, and try and score. In this position, I need to score as quickly as I can. The problem is we need to move this ball because once these linemen get into play, it's very easy for him to get 2 dice blocks on us because we're so undermanned. We're down 2 players, right? We got one injured, 1 KO'd. Sorry, we're down 3 players. So we've been kind of unlucky so far in terms of injuries and knockdowns and stuff. If I could take this guy out, that would be really big. So again, a knockdown with no armor break. It happens. I've got to re-roll that. That's a really good result. Please get injured. I mean... Alright, that's big. Knocking him out is big. That brings us back to just 2 players down. And now we can apply pressure further up the field. So I can get one of my other linemen in here. His guy with guard is down, which is good. And we're going to run another runner over here. So now we've got 2 guys potentially in scoring position. We have a reroll left. This guy is not in a great spot. He does have dodge, so we're just going to dodge to here. So that's fine. Alright, good. So now we are... It's not great, but again, the ogre is just going to stand firm. He now needs to think... These 3 guys are in a bad spot, right? If he stands him up, he'd be dodging with a guy... He's only got 1 reroll left. Sorry, he's got 2 rerolls left, but he doesn't want to use one for this. If he blocks this guy, that's fine. Spare Monk is a blocker, you know. He's ready to accept that fate. If we lose another blitzer, though, that would be really bad. And I think we're gonna. That really sucks. Alright, so he's just down. So now he might go for the ball carrier. Or just get in contact with him. But again, this is why you keep the ball on the guy who's the most likely to escape a bad situation, right? He's got Agi 4, etc., etc. All I have to do is get the ball to double P. So he's going to get a... So he's going to go mark these guys. He needs to make go for it to do it. This is another thing that people do where I mean, he can move, dodge one and still be in the end zone. So he should not take gambles to get round this side. He just needs to get on him. Like this is, if he'd have to make, you see people do this, make a go for it to get that side of him. It just costs me a little bit of movement. And on a high movement hero, it doesn't matter. So this is going to be a 1 dice block. Should have been a 1 dice block. I don't know why it was a 2 dice block. Oh, he's got horns. Okay, so he successfully knocks the ball out of my hands, which sucks balls. And the ball goes to a terrible spot. So now this guy can go and pick it up and run off and score, which sucks balls. The horns, that was good. I would never get horns and block on a gutter runner, by the way. It's not a... I mean, I guess it's interesting because you could use them to, like he just did, where he's like a very mobile blocker. These are bad moves. He should not be doing this. I'm still in range. If he blocks here, that's a really bad move. Alright, so that was a bad turn for us. He got pretty lucky with the blocks and stuff. As far as I can see it, this is our only play, and I might have to burn a reroll. I need to knock this guy down. Because he's got 5 agility. If we don't knock him down, we've basically lost. Alright, well, we'll knock him down. Alright, he's stunned. That's good. He does have other gutter runners that can get to the ball, but at least we've made him roll a dice. And this guy can hop up in a second and hopefully get there. So this is one of his gutter runners. He can't score, he can get to there, which means we're still in range to get to him next turn, which is something. But we basically need him to make a mistake now. That's good. Alright, so he's used his reroll. So hopefully he'll fail a pickup or fail to go for it. Something, anything really. So he's picked it up. It's going to be hard to knock him down because he has block and dodge. So we have a very slim chance of knocking him down. It's going to be very tricky. He can't make that play. Alright, so a bad spot. Not a great move here, but we've got to just hope we get lucky. That's the opposite of lucky. We're just so sure-handed. We'll see if he does something stupid here. So greedy. So greedy. That was stupid. No other word for it. So he deserves to suffer now. Hopefully Nuffle will punish him. And he does. So now he can't score. Can we? I'm not sure if we can. Unless we do something really crazy. Got to make a go for it and a pickup. And then hope we can throw that far. Because I don't think he can pick up and hand off. And he can't do that anyway. And he fails his dodge, of course. Well, at least there's no way he can score. I don't know why he was so greedy. That was really, really bad. So he's going to go for the 2 dice block on the ogre with the rat ogre. And he gets lucky. Very lucky. So his rat ogre, 1 block takes out my ogre. He's been, I mean, this happens in Blood Bowl. So now we're down a player for the next half minimum. He's going to knock down Lorathar. Mercifully not injured. But we're in big trouble. Because now we have to defend against gutter runners. -2, including our big guy. We've got to wake up at least. Alright, that's really good. We're in with a shout. None of his guys woke up. That's really good. But we do have a rat ogre to worry about. So at this point, you stick your lineman on the line and you just eat it. You are going to eat it. Alright, that's it. So with this guy, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, he can get to any square. Alright, so we're going to tackle one of the gutter runners if they try to break through. What you don't want to do is leave your guys against a mobile team like this. You don't want to leave them in a position where it's too easy for them to run through. So what they're going to do is he's going to overload a side. But because we're humans, it's quite easy for us to react to that. I can get a minimum of, say, 5 guys into position to help defend against that. So we're short-handed. He's got a big guy, we don't. It's going to be very tricky to stop him scoring, but it's possible. If he keeps making bad decisions like that one, which I'm not going to say it's cost him the game because it's his possession, but his blocks so far, he's clearly a competent player. Other than that, you know, he moved his plays well, he blitzed well. His gutter runner leveling is interesting. He's using him as a kind of ultra mobile blitzer, which I really like. I think that's a really cool build. Normally people just build them as your goal scorers, so you don't expect it. You know, you kind of expect the gutter runner to just be about finding space, whereas he uses his as kind of these little safety guys that just pop in and bam, you don't see it coming, and then all of a sudden, like just then, my ball carries on his ass, and I thought, it's only got a 2 dice block, and I forgot about the horns. Gives him the horn, basically. So now, we don't have kick. We're just going to punt it and hope for the best. That is about as good a kick as you can get. So we go straight for a block with a Storm Vermin. So now he's going to blitz with the Rat Ogre, probably. Here it comes. He's going straight for Udog Slice. Udog Slice, of course, has block, which is a good thing. But he's frenzy, so he gets a second go. And it's just a push-push. That's really lucky for us. But I hope you guys can see he's opened up a nice hole on the right-hand side here. And because he's tied it up with the Rat Ogre, it's going to be hard for us to get round to this guy, who he's probably going to try and score with. So because he's got the man advantage, he's playing it right. He's marking up. He's using his advantage to just mark me up. He's going for the pass. I don't like this play at all. Don't think he needs to do this. There's no way we can get to him. There's no rush on his part. He doesn't need to hurry. And he's wisely decided not to pass. So we got problems. We've got men tied up. This thing makes it harder to dodge because of prehensile tail. If we get away from it, it's just going to blitz us again. But I'm kind of thinking we don't really have much choice. We could actually go to try and knock the rat ogre over, which might be a play. Let's try it. Get a 2 dice block. We've got block and he doesn't. We might take him down. That's a really good result. Stun there would have been massive, but as it is, we'll have to console ourselves with the fact that the rat ogre is essentially marking a lineman now, which is good. So now I can move a catcher up to here. Maybe get a block in a minute from there. See, we're getting the armor breaks, but we're not getting injuries and KOs. We're just getting stuns, which is really not ideal. But now, if he wants to run this gutter runner down here, he's only going to get to here, and we've got guys who can get to him. So that's pretty good for us. So I could take this 1 dice block, but it's a really bad move. I don't like it. And I think we're just going to end our turn there. He is down 3 guys, so because he had a sub, he's down 2 guys. We are also down 2 guys, so we're actually even, but we've lost our big guy, which means we need to leave a lineman marking this thing, and that's big problems for Jesse off topic. So you see he's knocking guys around Bro Slash, the rat ogre. He's going to blitz this guy. He has block and dodge, so he needs to roll exactly a POW. And he doesn't. That's really good. So U-Dog Slice has tanked the rat ogre pretty well so far, I've got to say. But he might... I don't know if he'll go for the pass here. He might just try and cage up a second. Buy a bit of time, buy some space, hope something goes wrong for me, and then go for it. But actually, he's going to pass it? I don't know if that's a success. Nope. He's going to re-roll the catch. And he caught it. So let's see what he does now. He might run over this way. I doubt it. I think he'll just try and cheese it down the side here, but that would be a bad move in my opinion. We have our Mr. Cheese Wheel. So now he's thinking, shit, where do I go? He's going to go into the middle here. Assist this guy in getting a block on this guy, but this could go disastrously wrong, hopefully. He gets lucky. And he rolls double POW. Alright, so Case Kaiser is essentially... I mean, niggling injury on a lineman. I'm just going to fire him when I can afford to replace him. But honestly, linemen are just there to be... Especially on a human team, they're just there to soak up the damage, that's fine. But fuck me, these injuries are disgusting. So now we have a problem. Can't get past this thing. Need to get to this guy. Can't. It's not easy for him to score, but it's definitely something that's likely. A KO, finally. But again, not an injury. So that's good. That's opened up a bit of a hole on this side. Still have we have 4 rerolls, remember? So if this is a KO here, that would be fantastic, but it won't be. Oh wait, Belladonna is KO'd. All right, that's really good. So I'm actually okay with you Dog Slice marking the Rat Ogre because, all right, they're 3 dice blocks, but it could be a lot worse. And this side of the pitch is now pretty scary for him, and he's definitely going to have to try and run this way. I'm gonna keep my tackler. Oh, that's big. That's a KO, and an injury. See, this is why you keep playing. So I'm gonna play him back. And I'm going to play him back. And then I'm going to mark this downed guy with this lineman. And we're just going to sit. He can't really come this way. That's pretty risky. If he does come this way, I think what he'll do is he'll move this guy. He'll move this guy up. He might move that guy up. He'll stand him up. He'll run him around the back, blitz him, and then make for the end zone, and just hope we can't get to him. That's what I think he's going to try. And we just have to hope that something goes wrong. He's going to go for that. All right. So if he'd rolled block, block, skull, and failed his reroll. So again, U-Dog Slice successfully tanks the big man. That's really good. But he might just try and run him right down the middle here. It's gonna be interesting if he does. I'm not sure he can. That honestly, he's down 5 players now. So he's got 6 players on the pitch. We have a decent chance of getting the ball off him, but he is on a tricky guy to catch. So he's going to blitz this guy. He gets the knockdown. So I realise I just had that lucky turn. But the number of blocks he's thrown compared to the number of injuries is extremely unlikely. He doesn't have Mighty Blow, he doesn't have Claw. He's just rolling well. So remember, this guy only has Strength 2. So this guy can run around the side and block him. And that's fine. Just need to figure out how to mark him up. That's a bad move. That's a bad move. He must see that. He must see that. He doesn't see that. Right. It's a bad move. I guess he's thinking if he gets blocked, maybe the ball will fall to the Rat Ogre. So, the key move for us here is blocking him. If we can get the ball from our thrower, we have this catcher in position. But this is basically the move that counts, is this block here. We just gotta hope this works out for us. I'm gonna re-roll that. Nice. Alright, good. That's great. So we'll knock him to there, we'll stay. Ball falls in a terrible spot. So we don't have anyone marking him at the moment. I'm going to move this blitzer to here so he's at least marking the ball. So what I want to do is get this guy to pick it up, and because he's much more likely to succeed, but it's going to be tricky. This is not going to work. So problems. Didn't really want to knock him there. That was a bad move on my part. Screw it. You can do it, Lorathar. So sometimes you just got to trust a dumb luck, friends. And that's what that was. God bless Foragi and sure hands. He wants to get this guy over there because he's got guard. So it's desperately important that he gets a guy with guard over to this guy. But okay, so he takes out U-Dog Slice. This is very bad for U-Dog Slice. Oh, he's only injured. All right, good. I mean, he's only knocked down, sorry. We just need to... I think if I get dump off on Lorathar, that would be really good, because he often seems to get in trouble. He's going to go for the blitz. This is going to be ugly. Just need to survive. That's not the ideal play, but we do have people around who can pick up the ball. You never know, we might even end up catching the ball. Depends. So he's stunned. That's bad. And he catches the ball, of course. Please fall over. I mean, this guy's a monster. Is he going to burn a reroll here? I think he had to. He had to. Alright, so we got problems. So if I put this guy here, it at least means if he tries to dodge back this way, he has to go around or risk running through a bunch of tackle zones. This is far from ideal. If we can knock him out here, that would be really big. Bad bounce. Really bad bounce. Makes the dodge. That's big. That's huge. Massive, massive KO. So now we've got to pick up the ball. Can I get to there? Do I need to get to there? He can frenzy with the Rat Ogre. But he can't really dodge with the Rat Ogre. That's fine. We'll take that. Alright, that's good for us. We got the ball on a guy I'd love to score on because he'd level up. And he definitely has options. He can get around there. He can blitz with him. But we do have a man advantage at this end of the field now. And something can go wrong for him. But this is not great. That's really bad for us. That's good. The ball's bounced away from him. So if he goes to pick it up, I wonder if he can't throw it, so he's just going to run with it, probably. See, the thing is, we don't have... Oh! Alright, he has rerolls, I believe. There goes his last reroll. If he throws this and fails, that would be really, really big, but he won't. I don't think he'll throw a one-dice block here. That would be stupid if he did. So the reason I didn't blitz with anyone else is I wanted to keep people up the field, like down the field, and I wanted to just get a guy in contact with the ball carrier, which I thought was important. So he can, I guess, hand off to this guy. He's out of rerolls, so it would be kind of tricky, but he could do it. He absolutely could do it. So that's good. So we've just left poor Lorathar, our thrower, marking. If he starts with him, I think that's fine. Like, I'm happy with that if he starts with the Rat Ogre, because I don't like that move. The reason I don't like it is, if he rolls Skull and both down there, he's in big trouble. And we do still have a chance to get the ball off him. We outnumber him in the backfield here. You never know. But they are Skaven. So first things first, get a man on the ball carrier. Stand up poor Lorathar. He can get to there, which is really good. I think this is worth a reroll. We've got to knock him down. Yeah, there we go. The problem is, I need this guy to successfully dodge and pick up and then get to here. Alright, good. That's great for us. That's actually not a great move. I need to get to there. Otherwise he's just going to blitz him with this guy from here. That was fortunate. Alright, so we will take a block on this guy that's 1 dice. And we will fuck him up. So, as you can see, we had some bad luck earlier in the game. We've had some decent luck now. It could be worse. No reroll. We'll take the push. If he fails this, that'd be amazing. Alright, never mind. Down you go, son. So now we are away. 2 turns to score. He can't get there. He does have the move allowance to reach him with him, but he'd need to make crazy rolls to do it. Alright, I think that's good. Uh-oh, Mr. Dabrowski is in trouble. Knocked his hat off. Here it comes. Is he going to risk it? Because the problem is he might get injured. I think the odds for this are probably nearing 1%. Phew. And in goes U-Dog Slice with the turn 16 win. Whew. He not only tanked the Rat Ogre for like 3 turns, he then scores a winning touchdown. What an MVP. So that was good. We beat Skaven. We were very unlucky early on with the injury rolls. Lost a lot of players. Lost a lot of field position and stuff like that. But he got very greedy, and sometimes Blood Bowl players think that it's an easy win ahead, and they just go, I'm just going to dick around and give it to this guy because I want him to get the points. And those are the games that Nuffle punishes you for. And I know that sounds superstitious, but it's a human thing to think, oh my god, I messed up. Of course, a lineman gets the MVP. I think we might have leveled up on someone. Probably not. Yeah, no. All right. So Case Kaiser is out for the next game. He has a niggling injury. How much is... So nobody leveled up. We are close to leveling up on a blitzer. 2 blitzers. Our catchers are doing all right. Our linemen... Well, we needed an MVP on the Ogre, and then he'd finally get block. How much is a lineman? 50 grand. I mean, I can just fire him and buy another lineman and have 8, 9, 10, 7. So we have 1 sub at the moment, but the thing with humans is we're going to bump into guys with Mighty Blow and stuff, and you kind of need your lineman to soak it up so the positionals don't have to. So I'm tempted to fire him and just buy another lineman. We have 3 rerolls already. If the worst happens, we lose our Ogre. We lose enough TV that we can drop down. We'll just have to play through it. I don't really like the niggling injury. But then again, because the problem is now, linemen get beaten up a lot. Having additional injury chances. Niggling injury adds 1 to injury rolls. So that means he's even more likely to get injured in future. And if, God forbid, he picks up the MVP, it's wasted TV. Like, if he levels up, it's a complete waste, because he's going to die. So it is tempting to fire him and get another guy. But then we'd have 2 subs. I think that's okay for a squishy team. I mean, it's weird. Their armor value is 8. Orcs is 9. But that 1 AV makes such a big difference. Let's do it. I'm going to fire Case Kaiser. You're fired. We kind of injured players on the team. And we're going to get another lineman. Case Kaiser too. Some people might disagree with that, but I like to have a full team in full health, which is a tough thing to get in Blood Bowl. So that's Men Who Chat. They're 5-1, which is pretty bloody good for humans, honestly. We tend to win by 1, apparently. Average score 1, but we've scored 11 touchdowns. We must have pasted somebody. 1? How was the average 1? 3-0. Oh, we lost 3-0. 2-0. 3-0. 2-1. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 divided by 6. So it's almost 2. All right. 7 casualties inflicted. 54 injuries inflicted. 11 casualties sustained, 11 KOs sustained, 50 injured players. I think that includes stuns and 1 death. So we've sustained 11, we've inflicted 7. So as you can see, we're not a bashy team. We've only let in 4 goals. That's pretty good. 185 blocks succeeded. That's not bad. That might be against. It's hard to say. The statistics are badly worded. Anyway, 150 yards passing, 552 running in 6 games. Not bad, not a bad club. Got 3 rerolls. I think that's really good. That's really been important for us, actually. So yeah, there you go. That's Men Who Chat. That's my human team. I hope you guys saw that if the game looks like it's going bad for you early on, you can rely, given the number of dice that are rolled in a game of Blood Bowl, that assuming you leave yourself with options. Now, I had to make some desperation plays, and we got very lucky with Lorathar's run to pick up the ball, and he dodged away, got away with the ball. Then we were able to recover the ball, but that was a tricky gutter runner to deal with. We're an early level team coming up against a team that's got players with dodge in. When you only have one guy with tackle and he gets injured or KO'd or whatever it was at the start of the game, it's always going to be difficult. We lost our big guy, which was really difficult. The Rat Ogre was loose. We were able to deal with that. So just don't panic. Don't rush all you guys. Just think, who can I spare? Who can I put in a position where it's going to be awkward? Who can I put, even just, you saw those times when I left a guy just one off an enemy. Don't have to mark them toe to toe. Sometimes just forcing them to move is fine. Otherwise you get that situation, and you'll have had it happen to yourselves, where you move all your guys in position, you think there's no way he can do this unless he pulls off this one block. He pulls off that one block, and then it's like dominoes all the way along. It's like 2 dice, 2 dice, 2 dice, and he knocks over your whole line and runs through and scores. Every time you end a turn with a guy toe to toe with one of his guys, there's a potential block there. You want to limit them to as few blocks as possible, especially in their favor. You want to limit them to preferably 1, 2, maybe 3 blocks a turn if you can, while still maintaining field position. And the advantage that humans have is they're all pretty quick. Like the lineman with a move of 6 makes them very quick for linemen. We have 7 move on the blitzers, which is amazing, and the catchers having 8 means they can always get there. I'm tempted actually to, once I get some more money, to drop one of the linemen and get another catcher in and make him some kind of a safety. Just get something on him like shadowing or something, I don't know. Something so he can just glue, like get tackle, something to glue himself to a gutter runner. Get tackle, get shadowing, something like that, so he can just stick on that guy. Strip ball is a really important skill against teams that run with the ball a lot like Skaven and Lizards, because you don't have to knock them over. So for all the tackle and everything like that, that's great. But strip ball on a good player, like if you can get it on a blitzer, like I would get it on Mr. Cheesewheel, strip ball would mean that anytime the ball carrier comes in, as long as I can get to him, we're going to get the ball out of his hands, unless he's got sure hands. Like it's so big. So yeah, there's some stuff to think about for you. I don't recommend a human team for players that are just picking up Blood Bowl off the bat. I would recommend a dwarf team or an orc team, or if you want to be a bit fancy, you could play an elf team and just see how it goes. You will lose players. My dwarf team is not great. We got kind of beaten up. We ran into some chaos guys. But to give you an idea of what I mean, as you can see, we got the shit kicked out of us. With a dwarf team, they all start with Thick Skull, which means that KO results turn to stuns. So just to give you an idea of that, look at Thick Skull. If you roll an 8, instead of being a KO, you're only stunned. So that keeps your players on the pitch. Block, everybody knows block. It's a great skill, one of the most important skills in the game. And tackle. They start with that. All right, that is your level 1 out of the box lineman dwarf. Okay, 9 armor, 3 strength, 3 agi. Sorry, that's the blitzers have 3 agi. The regular longbeards just have 2 agi. But this is the guy. This is your out of the box lineman. So they're the best linemen in the game for standing on a line and just holding it. Block, thick skull, tackle. Insane, absolutely insane. The 2 agi means you're never going to want them to carry the ball. 4 movement allowance, same deal. But you saw in that game, the linemen, generally speaking, aren't required to do too much running. But if you look at their movement, the runners are the only guys that move, and they only move as fast as a human lineman. So the problem you're going to have with dwarves is against a team that's mobile, like Skaven, if they get past you, they are gone, and you are never going to catch them. Your blitzers only have move 5. That's less than a Chaos Warrior. That's how slow your blitzers are, and they're meant to be your blitzers, right? So I've got my runners here. So if you look at Moira Webb, she has strip ball. She's the only speed merchant in the game. She's got block, she's got strip ball. I would get tackle on her as well when I get a chance. And then this is my guy that scores goals. He's got Fend, he's got sure hands, so he can pick up the ball. And with Fend, it means that when they try and block you, they can't follow up the block. They have to stop where they are. So that can be really big as well. Also, you have Hammer Fan. He has Grab, which means that when you block somebody, you can choose where they go. So the reason that's really big is that there'll be situations where there's a guy with guard or the guy with the ball, and you push him, and you can grab him and put him where you want him. And you can put him back into a zone with your friends who can then beat him up as well. Because sometimes you get that situation where you can just get one block on him, but the only way you can push him is away from your team. With Grab, you can like grab him, stick him back in your team, and pummel the fuck out of him. My Death Roller, I don't recommend getting Death Rollers, but I got one because my Twitch chat wanted me to get one. And I've got Guard and Multiple Block. Multiple Block is great when you have 7 strength. If you look at the ability, you block twice, but you take 2 away from your strength. Essentially, you add 2 to your opponent's strength, I should say. So that means if I get this guy up against 2 linemen, I can block both of them at 5 strength, basically. So, sorry, I can block them both. I'm at 7 strength. They both move up to 5 strength. Still a 2 dice block. Juggernaut means that if I blitz them and they have stand firm, it doesn't matter. Barrel right through them. Break tackle means that I can use my strength to dodge, which is insane. You can stand firm so they can't push you back. The Death Roller is actually extremely good, but the problem with it is it will get sent off at the end of a drive. A drive is any time a touchdown is scored or you reach turn 8 or turn 16. That's the end. So the end of a half or the end of a drive, he's out. So one of the things I had to do for my club was upgrade it so that we had a referee rest area. We both get a free bribe, so I can try to use that bribe to keep my Death Roller in the game. But generally speaking, they won't be in the game for more than 1 half. If you're on average, if you're lucky, they'll be in for 2 halves. Anyway, that's this Blood Bowl game. Played a game. Like I said, dwarves, they're okay to start with. I personally really like orcs to start with. This is my orc team. They were over 2,000 TV. Then they bumped into some chaos guys and got beaten up. But I've got this guy, my star player, one of my star players of all time. 8 movement allowance on an orc is ridiculous. Having 4 strength and pro and fend and break tackle. When he uses break tackle, he basically dodges with his strength. He's incredibly quick. He's incredibly hard to knock down. If he needs to pick up the ball, he can have another go at it half the time with pro. He scored an insane number of touchdowns for me. If you look at our statistics, sorry. So we've got 52 wins, 20 losses, and 11 draws. So it hasn't gone brilliantly for us, but this is a good orc team, or it was. And then we bumped into, this is the problem you'll have with black orcs, is if they don't get levels, they are essentially 2 dice blocks, but if you don't have block, it's very hard to use them properly. I had 4 black orcs that all had like block and guard and stuff like that, and then this chaos guy just killed them all, so we had to go back to scratch. So this guy is a liability. An unlevel black orc, 4 movement, 4 strength is great, but without block, you just have to use them as a lump. And against most teams at this TV, they'll have guard, they'll have plus strength guys, they'll have mighty blow, and they just get murdered, so it's kind of tricky. But anyway, I've rambled enough. I'm going to upload this to YouTube so you guys can see it. If you have any questions, the Blood Bowl threads on BB Tactics, Reddit, various other places are really good to check out for beginners. And just watch the stream. I stream Blood Bowl from time to time. I'm playing in the Krendorian League. You might, if you're new to the game, learn something from the way I play. But there are much better teachers out there. CK Nor and guys like that are really good at teaching the game. I'm just trying to give you guys an overview. But thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.